All right, Cole, thanks for joining us and being able to speak to the Dinkytown Athletes members. Again, my name's Luke. Real excited to have you today. Can you just kind of start us off by just introducing who you are, where you're from, and maybe like what you studied in school or in studying in school?
Yeah, so my name is Cole Kramer, and I'm from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. I play quarterback, and I am a fifth year here. And I'm majoring in business and marketing, and then I have a certificate in strategic marketing.
Okay, cool. So let's see, we're recording this on December 19th. This is kind of like the middle of finals. Are you done with finals? Or are you still in the middle of it?
Yeah, I'm all done. I submitted my last presentation about 3 days ago, so I'm going to be clear.
Okay. What's that feel like for you then? Is it feel like a relief?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, I would say
okay.
it's definitely a relief. I mean, I didn't have too much of a workload with my last semester in school, but it's definitely good to, get everything done.
All right, so maybe now the whole thing is just focusing on the bowl game at hand, but not as much on school now that you're all wrapped up.
Yeah, correct. It gives us a little bit more time to, you know, do stuff football related.
Okay, talk about now in your career, you've gotten to participate and be a part of a number of bowls, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think most people really understand, what that process is like. So can you tell us a little bit about like one, the preparation up to the bowl, maybe just start there and what that kind of looks like as a football player?
Yeah, so bowl prep. It's about a month or so, depending on when your game is, of practicing, and then you have lifts, meetings, all of that stuff. But at the beginning of bowl prep, you get to go against your own team. So Minnesota versus Minnesota type style.
Hmm.
That's looks a lot like fall camp practice or spring practice. And then as you get closer to the bowl game, you start integrating more of the team you're going to play, and then kind of move towards scout team stuff.
Okay. So then take us through like the whole bowl process in general. Obviously, bowls are around basically the end of finals and kind of in and through the new year, right? So what's that like? I mean, for most people, it's like, hey, you go home for Christmas, right? You spend Christmas with your family, etc. What's the process like for you guys, not just this bowl, but other bowls as well?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on when your bowl game is. So um, if it's like this year with the Quick Lane Bowl, if it's the 26th, we're there over Christmas, and we're practicing on Christmas, everything, and then we'll have a Christmas meal together, with the team. But it's the bowl games in general are just super fun. It's able for the team and the players to gain a little more experience, depending on where they are, and it's just a fun time to be around with each other.
Okay, so obviously you said you get an opportunity to obviously travel to a different city, etc., play a bowl. Do you have thus far in your career, do you have a favorite bowl memory? That could be on the field or off the field.
Jeez, I think all the bowls I've been a part of have been really fun in their own separate ways.
Uh-huh.
My first year when I was here, we were in Tampa at the Outback Bowl, and that was
Yep.
really cool.
Yep.
Um, Also being, in New York City during Christmas time with the Pinstripe Bowl this past year, that was really cool. That was a lot of cool experiences. Seeing the big tree and just all the little things that we did. That was pretty memorable.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Let's get back away from the bowl. We might come back to more of it later. But take us back to like when you're a high school student, you're being recruited. What about the University of Minnesota was the biggest factor in you choosing that to be your college choice?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of things, that go into a decision like that. One of the things that definitely stood out to me that a lot of people end up saying is just the culture that we have here, with Coach Fleck, and what he's done for this program. He says how it's a life program, and it's truly that. It's definitely something that I use more than just football, but in any aspect of my life, with the culture and everything that comes with it, and then also just the family feel. My cousin Carter Coughlin played here, so
Hmm.
I was integrated with a lot of the different members of the team at the time, whether it was they were at his house during, holidays or whatnot, or over the summer. So I had a good grasp of who was on the team, and it really felt like a family atmosphere. And then also, just definitely being close to home. That's been awesome. I'm about, 20, 25 minutes from home. So being able to see my family and everything like that.
Okay, cool. So, what was the biggest adjustment for you, transitioning from high school to college? Not just athletically, but like even academically. Like, what was that like, making that transition?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different, things I could talk about with just the difference. School wise, there's only 4 or 5 classes that you're taking, as opposed to, in high school, you could be taking 6 or 7 and they're every single day. But in college, you'll have 2 a week or something. So, you kind of have to be on top of it of, when something due, um, depending on what week it is and what day it is. But something that is awesome here at the U is just the support that we get. We have learning specialists, we have tutors, we have all that stuff at our age. So, every freshman that comes in here will have a learning specialist that kind of shows them the ropes of how college is. And then, when they think that you're good enough to go on your own, then you kind of drift away from that and just kind of take things upon yourself. But when it comes to football, there's obviously a huge change with that. And then, just time management in general. Your days kind of feel like there's a lot more going on than in high school. And so it's just kind of all about being able to compartmentalize your life and kind of direct your energy and your focus onto whatever you're doing at that time.
Okay. Um, how hard is it to pick a major? Like, you've got obviously basically a full-time job playing football.
Mm.
But for you, focusing on, the academic side is also a big thing, right? So
Yeah.
I maybe shouldn't say like how hard is it to pick a major, but like what went into that decision-making process?
Yeah. For me, I didn't have too much of a clear path on what I wanted to do. Um, I feel like for me, the whole business idea and business major was the best route for me because of all the open opportunities that would come from it. You can do sales, you can do, marketing, whatever you kind of feel within that, industry. Um, but yeah, there was, I think I was not for sure about the major with, the first 2 semesters or so. And
Hmm.
then I picked it. And so my major was business and marketing education. And
Hmm.
um, there's a lot of different classes you take, whether it's marketing or, sales training and that. So that kind of covered a whole landscape of things. And I feel like, that's a good route to go if you're a little bit unsure, but you want to pursue something in business.
Okay. For you, do you know what it is you want to pursue after school, and after your playing days are done?
Yeah. So I'm thinking about going into the sales industry.
Okay.
Um, haven't, narrowed it down too much, whether it's tech and software sales or, maybe med device sales, something along those lines. But yeah, so something within the sales to start off and then kind of branch from there.
Okay. All right. So outside, obviously you have hobbies outside of, football and football related activities and even being an athlete. So what are
Mhm.
some of those hobbies? What do you enjoy to do? Like what are the things you look forward to?
Yeah, just recently, my family and I have picked up pickleball.
Okay.
So we've been playing a lot of that, over the summer and everything like that. But yeah, so pickleball has been huge. I actually play with Carter and his family quite a bit.
Okay.
Um, and they have, their own pickleball court and everything. So it's really cool, really fun. And then a lot of, uh, not many people know that I actually enjoy drawing. Um,
Okay.
I
Cool.
got into that. I'd say, I've always, liked to draw, but pretty seriously back in high school, I'd say I took a drawing class. And then, as I went through college, just find myself drawing here and there. And yeah.
Yeah. When you draw, do you sit there, like, do you have music on? Do you listen to podcasts, the radio? Do you have TV on? Or like, how do you like lean into that?
I think it varies sometimes. I just,
Mhm.
it's not like I have to be totally locked in, but music always helps. That's pretty calming, or even if it's just a TV or, people talking in the back, it doesn't really faze me too much, but definitely music is probably my go-to.
All right, so when I was growing up, there was this girl in my church that she was like an avid drawer, and now she like does commission pieces, right?
Oh, well.
So, and she does like, horses and like these nature scenes. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
kind of drawing are you doing? Like what kind of stuff do you like to draw?
Yeah, I actually kind of like to draw the whole nature scene stuff.
Okay.
Animals, whether it's, lion, bears, whatever.
Yeah.
But I kind of cheat a little bit. I'll have the image on my computer and just kind of, look up and down. So it's not from my memory, which
Okay.
some people
Yeah.
may say it's not true, but
Uh, so I talked to this gal and she was telling me, right, that her goal is to get the duck stamp someday, right? To like whatever. I don't really know what goes into that, but she like goes and takes photographs. So I don't think you're cheating. I'll tell
yeah.
you that much. I don't know a ton about drawing. I'm not a very artistic person myself, but she goes and she's not going to shoot the ducks. She's going to capture a picture of the duck so that she could take that picture. So maybe that will be you'll be out you'll add photography to then continue on your drawing someday.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. That's really cool. All right. So obviously drawing is a hobby, pickleball. Do you see a second career in pickleball? Will you be pursuing that as like do you have a doubles partner and you're gonna try to get on the tour? I know there's a tour now.
I have thought about that. I have, it is pretty tempting to, go hard and start training pickleball, but we'll have to see.
All right. So what was your like welcome to college moment in terms of athletics? Was there a point in practice or in a scrimmage or something where you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty different than the wing tee that I ran at Eden Prairie?
I think for me, it was our first walkthrough of winter conditioning. And it's all the basic plays, there's not much going on there, but my head was spinning and I was like, I'm not really sure what's even going on right now. Like I just learned this stuff and now I got to go do it. Granted it was probably only handoffs or something, but even looking at the whole signal operation and then being able to call the play to the line, it's just not what I was used to. So, being able to get used to that took a lot. But that was where I was like, okay, this is something different and this is something that I need to work on.
hmm Yeah, so stealing signals has been a big thing, obviously, in the media this year.
Mhm.
Like, how complex are the signals in your opinion? To the lay person, are they like military grade or more like, kindergartner at recess trying to communicate back and forth?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I'd say somewhere in the middle. It's not crazy, but it's also a little bit more complex than what some people may think. But um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say probably somewhere in the middle.
All right. Um, so you obviously talk about PJ Fleck running, not just a football program, but a life program, right? So what's
Mhm.
this question actually comes from a Dinkytown Athletes member, but they ask, what's the biggest area of growth, either as a person or player in your time as part of the program?
That's a good question. I think my whole leadership style um, has definitely grown over the years. Coming in as a freshman and um, being a little bit timid or not wanting to step on anyone's toes to now where you know leading is just it's not like I have to think too much about it. But I think that is important because like I said, how it's a life program and leadership is gonna take place in every part of my life. So being able to just hone on those leadership skills and making them better for not only football but maybe in the workplace or even with the family in the future and just kind of working on that.
I don't know how the Dinkytown Athletes members decided to throw all the really hard questions at you, because most of the ones they get are softballs. But this is another really good question, kind of deep. Um, and the question is there a struggle for student athletes that doesn't get talked about?
Like for like in general, just student athletes.
Yeah, just not just football players, but just student athletes in general. Is there something that you guys have to deal with that either doesn't hit the headlines or I think about the fact that hey, it's you guys are basically working a full-time job and going to school, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't think people know how much time you guys put in, but like what are some of the things that I don't know if they're a struggle, but they just aren't talked about that are a big part of your life as a student athlete?
Yeah, that is a good question. I think one of the things that, I've seen in the news recently and over the past few years is, just the toll of, with social media and what people say to student athletes. You got 18-year-old kids going out and playing, and, just the things that people are saying to them. For someone who, this is, their first really time, maybe, playing or something, and they're getting, criticized by someone they don't know, it can be pretty hard on them. And,
Hmm.
I've seen many uh, professional players, people in the NFL and stuff where, it gets to them too. And not many people really think about that, especially when it's online and on social media. They're just typing or texting something and they don't really feel like there's going to be an impact. But, people see some of those messages, and, I feel like that can take a toll on people. And, not many people really talk about that.
Do you guys as athletes talk about it? Like, you can either see like the praise heaped on you or the criticism on some people, founded or not. Do you see that, and do you guys dialogue about that, or do you talk to coaches about that, or do people just kind of internalize it and deal with it on their own and in their small, like, their circle?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard, too much about it
Hmm.
personally. We always talk about, not listening to the external noise and
Yeah,
everything like that. Personally, I'm not on Instagram or Twitter or any of that. I have accounts, but I haven't been on them, active in, months. So,
yeah.
for me, that's helped, just not even going on it, which, the external stuff doesn't even, get to me because I don't see it. But so yeah, I mean, personally, I haven't really heard too much people talk about that, but it's just something that I've seen, whether it's been on the news like a couple years ago or whatnot.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk a little bit of football stuff then, and then we'll transition to some kind of quick hitting fun questions. Um, so in your career, you've been a wildcat quarterback, right?
Mhm.
Kind of a niche play. Um, what's your mindset knowing that that's going to be your role, assuming that package is called? What's your mindset going into a game, knowing that's your role?
Yeah, so in the past when, that was kind of my sole focus for the season, going into the game, it's being able to be locked in every single play. You don't really know when you're going to get called, and boom, all of a second they're calling for you and you got to go run out there and execute the play. So, just being ready, being on your toes every single, snap of the game, making sure you're ready for that. But mentally, being prepared in practice, for us, preparation, creates that confidence, and being able to go into a game with confidence is extremely important. But for me, it was fun. Like, I've never, been that player in high school where, I'd be running, through the A gap or anything. So to be able to
Hmm.
experience that, I took it for what it's worth, and I was like, let's go do this as best as I can.
Okay. Um, Obviously, you've also been a backup quarterback, right? And you're going to start the bowl game.
Mhm.
Um, how does your mindset change between, wildcat quarterback role, backup quarterback role, and then starting quarterback? What's the mindset? Is it the same for all three, or is it different?
Yeah. So honestly, it's the same with, whether I was a backup quarterback. I would prepare as if I was starting because, you're always one play away from actually playing in the game. So, you got to be ready with every single play,
Hmm.
every single look the defense is going to throw at you. So, personally, as I was watching film as a backup, I'm, preparing as if I'm actually going to be the starter, with that mindset, with that intent every film session. And then when I was doing Wildcat, I would still have to, know the offense, and, because I could have gotten the game then too. Like, no one really knows. So I think it's important for, just in general, if you're the starter or if you're the backup, or, doing something that's completely different, like the Wildcat thing, that, you know, to be able to prepare as if you're the starter is crucial and is very important.
All right. So, obviously, for many people, they don't understand the amount of work you've put in. What does it mean to you to get an opportunity to start a bowl game and kind of cap off your career, getting a chance to start in the Quick Lane Bowl?
Yeah, it means so much to me, especially being a hometown kid,
Hmm.
going to games ever since we played in the Metrodome. I just have so many experience of, being a fan for all these games and being like, one day I want to be out there. I want to be leading this team, and to be able to get that chance, it truly means everything. Um, coming out of college or coming out of high school, every high schooler, wants to play, obviously, wants to start. And, my plan was to do that, obviously. And what's awesome about that is, God has a different plan. And um, God's plan for me was exactly this. And that just, is a testament of trusting in him and trusting the process, really, that, however it would have played out, it's there for a reason. And I'm just extremely grateful for the chance and the opportunity to play, but I'm also grateful for, being a backup for these past years, because I've been taught so many different lessons that I'm able to use for my future. And, I couldn't be more grateful for that.
Yeah, your perspective is obviously very mature, and that probably you'll actually find a lot of success in life if you can stick with that perspective. Not that I'm here to preach at you or anything. Um,
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So, real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to give you the Dinkytown Athletes Pop Quiz. Okay. So I know you're kind of wrapping up your academic career, but you've learned through that there are no bad questions, right? But
Mhm.
on this pop quiz, there are truly only bad questions. So don't take these lightly, though. The Dinkytown Athletes members are going to probably judge you and probably set a stereotype about you based on how you respond to these. Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Digital or paper notes?
What's that?
Digital or paper notes in class?
Oh, definitely paper.
Okay. Are you a TV series or movies person?
I'd say movies.
Okay. Winter or summer Olympics?
Summer.
Okay. Uh, Earbud headphones or over the ear headphones?
I'd say earbud.
Okay. High or low socks?
Low.
Flip flops or slides?
Slides for sure.
Okay. Do you cut your pizza in squares or triangles?
Definitely triangles. Definitely
All right.
triangles.
All right. Chicken wings. Do you like them boneless or bone in?
I like a little variety, but I'd say bone in. Makes it a little bit
All
more
right.
fun.
Do you dip those in like a ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch.
Okay. Um, Tacos. Do you like hard shell or soft shell?
I'd say hard shell.
Okay, this is a pretty philosophical question here. So think hard about this one. Is milk with cereal considered a soup?
No, because in order for it to be a soup, it's got to have broth.
Okay, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Okay. Uh, um, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person.
All right. Cats or dogs?
Dogs for sure.
Okay. Complete the following saying. Duck, duck.
Goose.
Oh, wow. The Minnesotan saying goose. How do you pronounce GIF, GIF or GIF?
Oh, jeez. I'd say Jif.
Okay. And then lastly, and maybe most importantly, favorite color, maroon or gold?
Gold.
All right. Well, obviously want to thank you for joining. Good luck to you. Stay healthy in the bowl game. But most important, man, uh, have fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.